Okay, let's discuss A Sound of Thunder. A Sound of Thunder was written by Ray Bradbury. He was huge in the 80s. There was even, you've probably heard of Alfred Hitchcock and the TV shows that he did. They were mystery shows. Ray Bradbury had a show on TV in the 80s called Ray Bradbury Theater. And his stories are typically short stories that have to do with technology. So you're going to be reading A Sound of Thunder. It's on page 876 in the literature book, in the mint green book. And you're going to be reading that story. One of the things that Ray Bradbury is known most for is his look on technology. He generally speaking looks at technology as a danger to mankind, that too much technology means that we become too dependent on it, or the technology ends up hurting us in some way. So this story is no different. The main idea behind this story is that man has gotten to the point where we have time machines, and instead of taking safaris to Africa to hunt lions, you can take a safari back into the past and hunt dinosaurs. That's what A Sound of Thunder is about. Now, you can automatically assume what some of the problems might be with that. When you travel back into the past, what happens? So this has to do with time travel and paradoxes, those types of things. A paradox is where something in a timeline in the past changes the future, that makes the future impossible. So an example would be you go in a time machine back and kill your grandfather, and that means that you never existed, which means you never could have gotten into the time machine to go back in the first place. It creates a paradox. Well, there are two different ways that science looks at time travel. One of them is that they look at time kind of like a river, where you throw a pebble into the river and it creates a small ripple, but inevitably the river just corrects itself and keeps on going. So under that theory, you can make small changes in time, but you can't make major changes that will change the future. That time will correct itself. The other theory is that time travel is more like a pond, where you throw a single pebble into a pond, and it creates a ripple effect that goes on and on and on and on and changes everything throughout that pond, right? So this story will look at that idea, the pond effect. It's also called the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect, the theory behind that is that a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the world, and it creates, eventually through a chain of events, an earthquake or a tsunami on the other side of the planet. The idea that every little thing we do has a huge influence on the world around us, and when you add time into the mix, every little thing you do in time has a huge effect throughout the history, throughout the coming time ahead of it. So here's what your assignment is. I want you to read A Sound of Thunder. Take your time and enjoy this story. It is well written. It's fun. It's scary. It's intense. It's good. Enjoy reading A Sound of Thunder. You can choose to read by yourself. You could choose to read with a partner or a group. But let me just remind you that your grade is based on your effort level. So first, you're going to read the story in whatever manner you choose. And then when you finish, I want you to create a project based on one theme from A Sound of Thunder. A theme is a general message about life. So a theme might be the butterfly effect. A theme might be careful what you ask for. You get what you ask for. A theme might be technology is dangerous. These overriding ideas, these overriding messages that you find in the story. So choose one. There are many themes in A Sound of Thunder. Excuse me. I want you to pick one of them. Create a project based on that theme. Now, your project is not literal. So I don't want you to make a poster of dinosaurs and say, that's my project for A Sound of Thunder. That's not it at all. Let's say that you choose the theme of butterfly effect. What could you make that would represent butterfly effect? Forget about the dinosaurs. Forget about the story. Now we're just looking at a theme. So when you make a project, use your skill set. If you like to do art, do something with art. If you like to build things, build something. If you like to write, do that. If you like music, use that. I don't really care. Just create some kind of project that represents that one theme. So overall, it's probably going to take you one class period, more or less, to read the story. And then you should spend maybe 1 or 2 class periods working on your project, no more than that. So make your time count and turn that in. So whatever you create, you could either show it to me. If it's something digital, let's say you made a slideshow or you made a video, you could just share it with me, email it to me, whatever route you want to go with that. But once you're finished with the project, show that to me. Once again, you are allowed to work on these projects in a partnership, in a group, but your effort matters. If you have 3 people working on a project and you spend 2 full class periods to do it, that had better be an incredible project. That's 6 hours worth of labor between your 2 hours and the other people's 2 hours. If you have a group larger than that, my goodness, that had better be an incredible project, right? So give your best effort every second, create the project, turn that into me. Have fun.